We're here at Heritage Regional High School with Mr. Jack Blum for Real Canada. I'm Gina Morales, this is Emmy Littler, and this is Josh Feore.
Mr. Blum, what was your inspiration with Real Canada? Why did you create Real Canada?
So my partner, Sharon Corder, and myself were filmmakers and television writers and producers. And we just started to feel that the people in the industry that we worked with were so discouraged, mostly because Canadians don't often get to see Canadian films. And we thought, maybe if we took some of the good films and showed them to high school students, to teenagers, and if the teenagers liked them, it would encourage everybody. It's not that the films aren't good, it's that there's a problem with the marketing and distribution of them. So that's where it started. And then as we got this very positive response, an excited response, and as we understood that it was harder and harder to find Canadian material in the education system, we realized that it was really a bigger project that had to do with the importance of telling Canadian stories, of people understanding that we live in a different place with its own culture, with its own values, and movies are such a powerful way to share those values. And that's really become the fuel for the project, whether we're talking to high school students or whether we're talking to new Canadians who have just arrived, we show them films as well, or whether, like today, National Canadian Film Day, we are bringing Canadian film to every Canadian across the country.
Mr. Blum, do you believe that maybe one day Canadian films will be competing with the Hollywood industry?
Well, every country in the world, almost, has the problem of competing with Hollywood. So much money promotes Hollywood movies that it's very difficult to compete with them. But if I take your question a little bit differently, I think it's very possible that Canadians will learn to appreciate their own films, to find them from time to time, to enjoy them when they encounter them, and to value them. And I think that's what matters in a country like Canada, which is small. We're only 35 million people. It's the same as the state of California. So it's a small audience in a big, big, big land mass. And if we can just encourage Canadians to know about their films and their stories and appreciate them, I think that will be a great victory.
Today is National Canadian Film Day. We're having a broadcast all over the country. It's nationwide. Can you tell us a little bit about something that's going to be happening today?
Yeah, it's very exciting for us. It's the first time we've done this. We're showing Bon Cop, Bad Cop in your high school in Heritage. And afterwards, we're going to have the two stars, Colm, Feore, and Patrick Huard, together answering questions for the kids. We will be shooting that and live streaming it to the internet. And we have 60 schools across the country who have signed on, who are going to be watching, who are going to be sending us their questions via Twitter, and some of whom have pre-recorded their video questions, so we'll be showing those questions as well, and just trying to give everyone who's participating a sense that this is happening from coast to coast. That's what we're trying to get people to feel, is that we're all watching this great Canadian movie and then talking to the stars of that movie, and we can do that because they're ours, right? It's our story, they're our actors, and that's the feeling we're trying to engender.
How is a movie chosen? Like, for example, today we're watching Bon Cop, Bad Cop. How is it chosen to be represented in the school?
Well, that's a good question, because for most of what we do in schools, as you may know, the students pick the movie that's going to be screened. In this case, because it was going to be national, we wanted the movie to be entertaining for everybody. We wanted it, ideally, the idea that it's a bilingual movie and we could get an English and a French star to actually do the discussion in English and French seemed to us to be a fantastic opportunity to celebrate Canadian culture together in that way. It's quite unique. Bon Cop is a unique movie because it does combine the two cultures. So for us, it was an opportunity, and because the two stars were available, we said, let's do that, and instead of having the students vote, we will do that this year. Next year might be different. Next year we might have a nationwide vote. I don't know.
And Mr. Blum, what was your reaction towards the success of Bon Cop, Bad Cop?
Well, I always loved the movie and thought it was great. You see, I'm not surprised when Canadian movies succeed because I know how many really, really good movies, good Canadian movies there are. It's simply a matter of, will people hear about it? Will they hear about it with all the noise about American movies and Hollywood movies? Because Hollywood spends the same amount to promote one movie as we spend making all our movies all year. We just don't have that kind of budget. So that's what was great, was that people heard about it, and as our contention is, if people know about these films, they will go and see them.
Thank you so much for being here today
My
with
pleasure.
us.
Thank
We
you
really
for
enjoyed
hosting
it. It was
us.
very interesting. This was Dina, Emmy, and Josh at Heritage Regional High School for Real Canada.